Well, it looks like anybody inside that particular bus stood absolutely no chance. The train was coming in full speed. Several of them died upon impact. In fact, people there, the locals, also coming out in huge numbers to help all those stuck underneath those mangled remains. They are trying to push through. They're trying to pull through the metal and the likes. It's not easy, considering, of course, that the remains have been completely mangled up. But as of now, a lot of bodies of children being fished out from there. As you can see, several of them already dead, unfortunately. And also, besides that, we understand that there are rescue teams present there. A lot of equipment also to pull out all of that debris from the accident. And of course, a tragedy like none other we witnessed. An unmanned railway crossing. It's so dangerous, and the driver did not take any sort of precautions. He had children on board, but that did not change anything. He still continued to go despite the fact that there was a train coming. He is said to have not seen the train, and it rammed right into the bus, leading to 25 people being killed. And of course, it looks like most of it are children, but no confirmation coming in that front. Well, as you can see, locals seem to be doing major part of the rescue operation there. The experts have still not arrived. Mr. Rao did confirm that yes, there are rescue teams, but they don't seem to be at the spot yet. The localites are pulling them out. The JCBs are present there, trying to pull through those remains. But considering that these children could be very severely injured, medical help is the need of the hour. In fact, in the process of pulling them out, several of them are also getting injured. And of course, we understand that medical teams are on standby. They are present there, but they are being rushed to hospitals in Nizamabad, which could take quite some more time, and that too could affect the child, especially if he or she is in a delicate condition. We have to understand that the children who have managed to survive this horrific accident will be in a critical condition, to say in the least. Their lives will be under threat. They will be very delicate and fragile, and locals seen doing all the work there. We don't see any rescue officials as such. There are a couple of police officials also present, but children unfortunately being hoarded out of that particular accident, and a tragedy like none other that we are witnessing. That's where all the chaos is taking place. The train, of course, is stopped a few feet away as soon as they realized that, of course, they've hit a school bus. There's absolutely nothing the train could have done, considering, of course, it was coming at a very high speed, and this is being an unmanned level crossing. The driver did not take the necessary precautions and decided to take his bus through in a hurry, and that's what's led to this massive tragedy. School bags are strewn everywhere, showing you the kind of tragedy that we are looking at. Very unfortunate there that the train rammed right into that particular school bus, and 25 have been killed in the accident. That death toll could also increase, considering, of course, that there are so many children also stuck there. They are grievously injured, and they're still pulling out children's bodies and the like. So the death toll could increase. As of now, it's 25 is what the South Central Railways officials have told us. This is in Masaipet, which is just off the Ramayapet station, and this is, of course, in Medak district in Telangana, about 100 kilometers from Hyderabad. The train that was involved in this accident is the Nanded-Hyderabad path. And of course, as you can see, it looks like a complete mess out there. Mangled remains of the bus, and amongst all that, bodies of children, some of them grievously injured, who have managed to survive the incident. Rescue operations are on in full swing, most of it being done by locals in the area. They're using their hands to try and get through to those children who are stuck amidst a lot of metal, amidst all those rods. There are little children stuck out there. 25 is the death toll. No word on how many people have been injured, how many children have been injured. We are awaiting more details along that front, but we have to highlight that death toll could increase considering that rescue work is still on. A lot of children still stuck in that debris. A good 50 children are said to have been on that particular bus, and the incident is said to have taken place at about 9:10, and the driver is said to have rushed in, and that's what led to this particular accident. My colleague Arun joins us live from the newsroom with more details. Arun, we do understand that the death toll right now is at 25. Take us through what we know. What are the latest updates?
Akshita, what we're given to believe is that this accident was caused due to negligence and perhaps rash driving on the part of the school bus. Remember, the school bus, as we all know, was ferrying students to the school. It was running late. This particular school in question is the Kakatiya school. It is a very prominent school in Karimnagar district. In fact, one of the very important schools, well-known schools, and this particular bus was actually being driven in a very rash manner, and that perhaps explains the reason why the driver of the bus was in a rush. He chose to actually overlook the oncoming train. Remember, this is a train which was carrying passengers from Hyderabad to Nanded. The Hyderabad-Nanded passenger, it covers a distance of about 320 kilometers. That's the distance between the two towns in question. And the school bus driver was quite negligent. He did not see the fact that there was a train approaching in the opposite direction, and by the time he could respond, the train had actually hit the van, and 25 children, as you rightly pointed out, perished in this unfortunate accident. It was largely because of human error, Akshita.
Right, Arun, also, of course, we're now given to believe that the driver has also passed away in this particular accident. 25 so far being killed, and that possibly also includes the driver. Arun, any word on how many people have been injured?
We are given to believe that at least 10 people have been injured. At this point of time, it is not clear whether these 10 are only the school children, or does it also include some of the passengers who were traveling in the train, who could have probably been thrown off the coaches because of the impact of the accident. At this point of time, we know that at least 10 people have been injured. Whether they are all children or whether does it include any adults, whether there were any other adults in the school van besides the school driver. Remember, you rightly pointed out to the fact that the school driver has also perished in this horrific accident. We don't know whether any of the passengers injured in the train, whether there were any passengers in the train who were injured in this accident, Akshita.
Right, Arun, stay with us. As you can see, visuals of the children who have been injured in the particular accident. Almost seems like the little kids are suffering from shock as of now, very critically injured, many of them, and they have been rushed to a hospital as well. Little children there, it looks like they could be around 6 to 10 years old, and some of them managing to survive, but with grievous injuries. Several children being rushed in there, some of them, as we can see, suffering grievous head injuries as well. So of course immediate medical help being given to all these children, many of them very, very critical. So tragic there, as you can see. They've broken limbs, they've got head injuries, so many of them in shock, they're all crying in pain. It's so sad to see these little children having suffered such grievous injuries. Fortunately, of course, medical help has been given to them, and they are currently being treated in these hospitals. Well, coming back to you, Arun, we were in fact looking at the kind of rescue operations on. Locals primarily seem to be pulling out a lot of these children. No doubt it's become that much more difficult because of the debris all around. A lot of these children are stuck underneath those mangled remains.
That's right, but remember, because of the fact that this location accident site that we're talking of, that is at Masaipet, close to Ramayapet, which is one of the smaller stations. Remember, this is a passenger train, and it would have stopped at many of these smaller intermittent stops, and this particular accident reportedly happened at Masaipet, just a few miles off Ramayapet, and thankfully enough, because of its proximity to Hyderabad, it was possible for the mechanical equipment to be moved so that the mangled remains. Remember, the bus is virtually out of shape, and there's a lot of metal and other debris which has fallen on the track and also adjacent to the track. So the process of clearing the debris is on. We are given to believe that it will take at least another 4 to 5 hours before, probably by the end of the evening or late in the night, the track should be clear, allowing for the movement of trains. But clearly at this point of time, the rescue operations are on way, and the children, as you rightly pointed out, are being moved to the hospital, Akshita.
Right, Arun, what you're looking on your screens are live visuals from the hospital where these children are currently being treated. Some of them in absolute shock, are unable to comprehend exactly what has taken place. They're ensuring that they conduct the necessary scans, and like a team of doctors are also present there on standby to ensure that any children who are rushed are provided immediate medical care. Several of them, in fact, are also being treated for their injuries. Many of them seen in absolute shock. Well, their faces are injured. Some of them have broken limbs, but they are the fortunate ones who have managed to survive this incident. Little girls also injured in that particular tragedy, and some of them have also suffered head injuries. Of course, it looks like their hands have been completely hurt, limbs, they've lost their limbs because of this particular accident as well. So tragic there that 25 people have also been injured. We're talking of about 25 being killed and another 25 being injured as well. Some of them seen in absolute shock. They're trying to go ahead and understand exactly what took place. A lot of them have suffered very, very grievous injuries. They have broken limbs, some of them having head injuries. Their heads are completely swollen, and of course it's definitely a miracle that they did manage to survive. They are the lucky ones, and these children unfortunately did not manage to survive. Young boys and girls have been killed in this accident.